Assalamualikum, teman-teman cerita Untungs. Kalau sejarah Indonesia biasa dikoleksi oleh masyarakat Indonesia, berbeda dengan bule asal Amerika satu ini, Jacob Case. Ia gemar sekali mengkoleksi foto-foto dan dokumen bersejarah yang tercecer di luar negeri.
Yang left call Untung yang G30 SPKI yang dia lagi diikat terus sudah mau siap ditembak mati.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the copyright.
Wow, epic banget nih. Punya lo dia. Berarti ini yang foto wartawan luar negeri ya, kejadian ini berarti ya?
I don't know if they got it, if someone from the military sent it.
Ternyata istri Jacob asal Indonesia loh teman-teman, yaitu Anessa. Wah, kira-kira Jacob pengen bikin museum sejarah Indonesia nggak sih? Apa sih yang membuat Jacob jatuh cinta dengan Indonesia? Dan siapa tokoh favorit Jacob? Spesial memperingati G30 SPKI, ngobrol bareng Jacob Case dan Anissa Case di channel Cerita Untungs. Jadi jangan lupa subscribe, like, dan nyalain lonceng notifikasinya biar kamu gak ketinggalan cerita yang lain.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh teman-teman semuanya. Terima kasih untuk kembali nongkrongin channelnya Cerita Untungs ya. Dan juga banyak informasi mudah-mudahan bisa bermanfaat, bisa kita saksikan di channel ini. Terima kasih yang udah support selalu. Dan jangan lupa untuk like, subscribe, and comment. Dan kalau dirasa setiap informasi dari apa yang kita tayangkan ini bermanfaat, monggo silahkan di-share. Nggak usah izin, langsung aja share, nggak apa-apa. Nah, berikut ini kita punya tamu yang unik lagi nih. Ada salah satu akun Instagram, namanya adalah Koleksi Sejarah Indo. Nah, uniknya apa? Coba teman-teman mungkin bisa follow itu Instagramnya, karena di akun ini itu isinya adalah foto-foto sejarah Indonesia yang mungkin orang Indonesia itu banyak yang nggak punya gitu ya. Gue sendiri juga kalau ngelihat, gue juga nggak punya. Tapi ternyata yang punya akun bukan orang Indonesia, dia orang Amerika. Nah, ini menarik nih. Foto sejarah Indonesia bisa mencelat sampai ke Amerika, tapi kita sendiri nggak punya gitu. Dan bahkan beliau ternyata sangat tahu banget mengenai Indonesia. Kita ketemu sama teman kita dari Washington, namanya adalah Jacob S. Oke, halo Jacob.
How we doing?
How are you? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm having too much fun, you know. I'm just excited to chat with you.
Oh, great. So I've been watching your Instagram. That is kind of interesting because your Instagram showing things that probably most of Indonesians haven't seen the evidence of our country's history. So before we go on, I want to ask you about Indonesia. How do you know Indonesia?
Well, I mean, I was first introduced to Indonesia, you know, about 20 years ago. My now wife, we briefly dated in high school before she went home. And when I first met her, you know, I didn't know Indonesia was next to India. I didn't know anything about the place.
So your wife's Indonesian?
Well, you know, yeah, but you know, at that time, you know, she was an exchange student, and I was just kind of, you know, I was a typical American kid. I didn't care about anything, so I was just, you know. Then I found out she was from Indonesia, and I started learning from there. You know, she had like a mixtape, and I listened to a little bit of Indonesian music. And since then, it's just kind of, you know, over the years, I've accumulated more and more knowledge.
Oh, so your wife was some kind of exchange students?
Yeah, she was an exchange student in high school.
In high school? What year was that?
It was in Washington State. It's called West Valley. It's you know, it's on the other side of the country.
So what year was that?
Oh, that was 2001.
2001. You met your wife an exchange student, then she went back, and then after that,
her mom got a job at the embassy. She came back for college, and we met again in DC, and you know, got married a couple years later.
Oh, so at that moment, you haven't have any idea about Indonesia?
I mean, you know, I knew about it, but before I met her, no. Before I met her, it was a name, but I didn't know anything about the place. You know, to me, it was it was no different than some place on a map that I wasn't sure where it was. You know, it was. I didn't know it had its own language. I was an American kid. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to have fun and get out of school and do whatever I had to.
So you have many Indonesian connection now. Can you speak some bahasa?
Iya, apa yang Anda mau saya berkata? saya bisa belajar tapi belum lancar ya, masih belajar. Sulit banget belajar di sini karena nggak ada banyak orang Indonesia di sini.
Banget loh, dia ngomong banget loh. Yeah. So can you have your wife join you right now? I want to ask you, but both of is quite interesting, I think.
Definitely, let me help for Nessa. Yeah, can you join me for a second?
Halo Mbak.
Halo.
Mbak, waduh, Mbak siapa namanya nih?
Mbak Anessa.
Mbak Anessa, ini bisa ketemunya dulu gara-gara exchange student, beneran nih?
Iya, aku jadi what is exchange student?
Exchange student.
Pelajar pertukaran, yes. Back in 2001, aku ke Seattle, daerah Seattle for exchange student. That's how I met this guy.
Oh, berapa lama waktu itu pertukaran?
It's just for 1 year, hanya satu tahun. Terus kita balik ke Indonesia. Terus mamaku jadi atase di embassy, so we all moved here to Washington DC.
Oh gitu. Nih kalau Mbak Anessa tinggal di mana asalnya?
Aku asalnya dari Jakarta, Rawamangun, daerah Rawamangun.
Daerah Rawamangun. Nah ini menarik nih. Jacob,
kenapa?
Awalnya kan ketemu Mbak Anessa dulu ya, ibaratnya kemudian baru ada tahu Indonesia tuh dari Mbak Anessa sendiri. Sekarang justru koleksi, ya Instagramnya ini unik juga karena kan koleksi sesuatu yang orang Indonesia nggak punya gitu. Nah, saya sebelumnya mau tanya sama Jacob sebenarnya gitu. What makes you so interested to Indonesian girl at that moment?
You know, she was just really lucky.
Asal dia suka asbun, Mas Untung.
Yeah, she was just beda ya, bukan Latina, bukan hitam, bukan seperti Cina, you know, beda. Then I say, "Whoa, what is that?"
Melayu.
Yeah, Melayu.
Melayu.
I didn't know Melayu. I was just like, wow, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Let me talk to her.
Wow, unik ya. Jadi di awal baru kenal langsung modus ya Mbak Anessa.
Iya, dianya yang naksir duluan. You like me first. Yeah.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
She was scared of the world and I protected.
Nah waktu kalian akhirnya kan menikah tahun berapa tuh? What year was that? You get married?
2016.
2016. Now, since then, have Jacob went to Indonesia?
Yeah, couple of times actually. Dua kali ya since 2016. How many times did we go? Twice?
Tiga. We
3
went in 2016, 2018, and 2019.
Ya, 3 kali dia since 2016 dia ke Indonesia.
Indonesia. So how do you find Indonesia so far, Jacob?
I love it. To me, it's an amazing place. Like it's different than what I know, and almost all in good ways. Like, you know, Indonesia has its problems. Don't get me wrong, but it still has culture. It still values the family. It's, you know, it still has community. Everybody knows their neighbors. Everybody knows everything. It's so different than here, and it's taught me so many life lessons. Like, yeah, it's fun to go to Bali and mess around and do stuff like that, but the general Indonesian values have rubbed off a lot on me, and I've learned a ton from it.
So which part of Indonesia do you love most?
I mean, that's impossible to say. It's so different. I mean, I actually like Jakarta. You know, most people are like, Jakarta. Yeah, to me, it's crazy because it's like 1,000 different worlds. But, you know, it's hard to compare, you know, cities with the beauty of Malang and when you go out to the mountains and watch the sunrise. Or if you go to Labuan Bajo and you're out in, you know, Padar Islands and places like that, it's so different that it's hard to say what's my favorite, you know?
Wow. Even I see your paintings back on the wall.
Ya, dari Bali, painting Bali.
Waduh, keren banget ini. Dia udah ini kayaknya bukan nikah sama Bule deh Mbak Nessa. Ini kayaknya nikah sama Dini. orang Indonesia terjebak di badannya orang bule nih kayaknya.
Iya, atau bucin.
Bucin banget. Ada paham gak tuh bucin?
You understand bucin?
Yeah, bucin, budak cinta.
Ale, di bule tapi komedian nih kayaknya.
Enggak, tapi dia emang ngerti banget Indonesia. He knows more about Indonesia than I do.
Oh, I see.
History.
Iya,
Ingat nggak, kalau di sekolah kan kalau belajar sejarah itu kan yang dihafalin itu nggak penting kan, kayak misalnya tanggal lahir pahlawan lah, istri pahlawan, di mana mereka meninggal, nggak penting banget kan?
perjanjian apalah ini apa segala macam kita tuh nggak.
Iya, aku inget banget dulu tuh PSPB itu semua tentang tanggal-tanggal meninggal lahir. I'm like, oh my god, why do we need to know this?
Kita juga nggak bakal pakai gitu ya. Iya, waktu itu tapi
nggak penting gitu loh. Sedangkan jadi ilfeel kan, aku sih ilfeel sama sejarah since then. Tapi Jake, he always liked history. Dia selalu suka sejarah ya. Jadi aku juga tertarik lagi lah kasarnya.
Nah, ini ngomongin mengenai yang di akun Instagram mengenai foto nih gitu ya. Pertama kali itu dia tertarik itu kapan ya? Jacob, for the first time, I mean, you interested in Indonesian photograph? Still remember about that?
So I just kind of fell into the photographs. Like that wasn't ever a plan. It wasn't ever something I wanted to do. After going to Indonesia several times, you know, and every time that we would go somewhere, you go back through CGK, you know, Soekarno Hatta Airport. And one day I just said, all right, who are these people? So I start looking on my phone. I start doing everything. And then I got interested in the history. And it was just by chance that I saw 5 photos for sale one time. And I was like, well, why not? You know, so I bought them. And then her sister, who's also here in the area, told me, well, I don't think these were ever published. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I don't think that these were ever published in Indonesia. They've probably never seen them.
Oh.
I was like, are you serious? So I showed it to a couple more people and they were like, this is something special. So then I've been buying ever since. So
can you show me your first photograph you bought?
So I bought 5 at one time. I'll show you 2 that I have set aside.
Which ones are those?
They were all Soekarno.
Mbak Vanessa waktu dia beli itu dia beli di mana sih sebenarnya? Kok bisa?
Dia belinya so he looks online. Dia jadi beli dari toko-toko antik, kebanyakan di Eropa katanya, di Belanda, di Jerman, where else?
I mean,
Switzerland, Amerika, ya toko-toko surat kabar udah pada tutup ya. Jadi mereka likuidasi ininya lah, semua barang-barangnya termasuk
asetnya dijualin ya.
Ini.
Oh, iya. I see. Sebenarnya.
Tapi emang harus rajin ya dia ngelihat online dan harus paten lah kasarnya.
Tapi emang dia berarti emang ada ketertarikan ya untuk fotograf.
For sure.
Wah.
So that's the first photo.
Ini Presiden Soekarno.
The USS Hope, the aid ship from Amerika that went there, and he's there with the first patient, touching her head.
What year was the photos been taken?
So the good thing about these photos is that a lot of them are dated because they come from press archives. So you can see it's from 1960, has a description because they needed the description. These are from their reference library, their archive. So this was the first photo I saw. But the one that people seem to like from that first 5 photos that I got is from 1950. Right after Indonesia was first, the war was over. This is from January something, 1950.
Ini sama Bu Fatmawati ya? Fatmawati.
Yeah. This was at the party at the Pesto where the war was over and independence was won, and this was at the party basically where this
photograph you get it from outside or from Indonesia?
Yeah, almost all of those famous photos are from outside. All of Soekarno and Kennedy, all of because Indonesia at the time didn't have like established press. There wasn't so much whatever, and American and European photographers were everywhere. They were all over the world. So they were telling the story of this. When you look at the back, it has newspaper clippings that were used because this was in the reference library, descriptions for it. A lot of this stuff, can be verified, and because of the dating and the archiving that they used.
Wow. Dia tahu nggak ini sejarah yang orang Indonesia?
Iya, kayaknya tahu. Dia ngerti ya, tapi karena kita di sini kan, jadi nggak terlalu kerasa gitu loh sebesar apakah ini this is pretty much priceless, all this stuff, karena kita nggak pernah lihat kan. Semua foto-foto ini nggak pernah aku lihat. Banyak banget kan dia foto-fotonya.
So itu totally how much photograph that you already been compiled?
So my total collection is over 1,000 photos. About 50 books and pamphlets, everything from like Lahirnya Pancasila, from early days to Hatta, and the stuff from Perhimpunan Indonesia in 1928. I have stuff like that, and then I've got over 100 saham perusahaan stock certificates from the Hindia Belanda period, late 1800s to like 1955, say 56, when they kicked the Dutch out.
So many of the information probably Indonesian just knew it from the Wikipedia, and you have the evidence here. So how much money that you spent?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I know that photos average, for like a regular photo, not someone like famous, but just like a regular photo, you average between $25 and $60 per photo. And if it's someone famous or like an important moment, the price goes really high. So just photos, not including the books, and some of that is really rare, you're looking at about $25,000.
$25,000? Well, Indonesia tuh sekarang 400 juta ya? 300 juta? 400 juta?
300 jutaan kayaknya ya.
300 jutaan?
350 lah.
Lah, Mbak Nes, sebagai seorang istri gimana nih? Gitu, ngeluarin duit segitu banyak gitu. Sebenarnya kalau mau diuangin lagi bisa loh sebenarnya. Ini bisa sebenarnya kalau mau diuangin lagi gitu sama yang di Indonesia banyak tertarik sejarah Indonesia.
Ya, tapi ini dia emang hobinya dia, right? And it's a good hobby. I mean, we learn a lot. It's about Indonesia, which is my motherland. I'm 100% supportive of the hobby.
I think what's important about it is that, because of social media, because of all that, I'm able to show it to the people of Indonesia. Like, when people say, what is this, what is that? When I showed the photo of the execution of Letkol Untung, people were like, there's documentation of that. We never knew.
Letkol Untung. Well, actually, my father's name is Untung as well.
Yeah. I was, that was one photo that when I put it up, next thing I knew that there was, media outlets over there putting on YouTube, and it's getting millions of views because it had never been seen clearly. It had never been,
Do you have the picture?
I mean, I don't know if it's okay to show it. It's, I don't know if it's okay to show.
Apa tuh, yang mana tuh yang dimaksud?
Yang Letkol Untung yang G30 SPKI yang dia lagi diikat terus sudah mau siap ditembak mati.
Tapi unik juga kalau dia punya ya.
Iya, makanya ini dia foto ini banyak dicuri lah ya kasarnya sama ada media-media lain tanpa kredit ke dia.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm looking at the copyright.
Wow, epic banget nih. Punya loh dia. Berarti ini yang foto wartawan luar negeri ya kejadian ini berarti ya.
I don't know if they got it, if someone from the military sent it, if somebody did whatever, but it came from France, from a Belga AFP, so French news agency archive. I don't know how they got it. I don't know why. 1967, the information on the back is in France. In French, they talk about the execution taking place outside of Bandung, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, so every photograph that you have, there are some backstories about the photos.
Most, because I bought most from news archives because I wanted to make sure they were real. If I'm getting photos of famous people, if I'm getting photos of famous stuff, I don't want it to be fake. So because a lot of them are expensive. Like this photo right here is really expensive, and this is from the Major Bandara.
Iya, ini
Or-
Muhammad Hatta di meja bundar waktu Indonesia.
Hatta and Hamid and Queen Juliana and Perdana Menteri Dres.
Konferensi meja bundar kita Indonesia nggak punya tuh, keren banget tuh. Jadi sama-sama masukin, wah.
Because of this meeting, Indonesia was independent. But if it didn't have the documentation on the back, you know, I had it appraised by people from Sotheby's or Barnaby's international auction houses, and they said that this one photo is between 250 and 350.
Wow. Well, actually, konferensi meja bundar it was a legend for kids at the school. They have to remember.
I know the date.
Yeah. December 27th, 49 was the transfer.
49.
So,
Iya.
Ya. Padahal kita nggak pakai lagi ya, Pak. Itu perlu tahu doang kali.
Makanya.
but you know, I'm lucky because you guys had to learn facts and dates and memorize everything, and to learn history like that, it's not fun.
Yup.
But for me, I got to learn the stories. I got to learn, you know, for me, history of Indonesia is stories of Soekarno and Hatta and you know, Nasution and Yani and all these guys that I know their story. Some of them I don't know where they were born, because to me that's not that important. What's important is what they did and the crazy, amazing things that they accomplished in their lives.
Wow. I have the information that you have the photos from President Soekarno and John F. Kennedy. I heard that they were good friends. You have many.
You want to see one?
You have one? The most epic one. Oh, ini dia. Ini belum pernah dipublish di Indonesia, ini foto ini. Belum pernah saya lihat di Wikipedia, belum pernah. Jadi ini coba dia aja yang pegang nih. Mungkin keluarganya juga nggak pegang. Even the family from President Soekarno don't have these pictures. Or the family of JFK even don't have this picture. Probably you are only the one who have that one.
You know, so like this, if you see like the writing on the bottom, it was part of their wire program. So they took this photo in DC inside the White House, and then they had to send it to, you know, 2 or 3 different archives for the story. So they would send it to those 2 or 3 archives. And I'm just lucky that eventually they went bankrupt and I was able to buy it. You know, so when you see everything is dated to when it came out. You see the faded Associated Press thing on it. I mean, yeah, I've come across so many epic photos that, like I said, I don't even know if the Indonesian archives have them, like this.
Wow, that was the first and the second presidents of Indonesia.
I have an original Associated Press, you know, run on it. You can see where it was run on the paper.
Wow.
But that's the original printing of it.
These are very rare photos because that kinds of pose, Soekarno and President Soeharto, they are standing together in one picture. It's it's very rare, and you have that one full uniform, right? So is there anybody that have already probably want to sell your pictures, things like that?
There's people that want to buy it, but if I'm being honest, you know, I'm not going to sell anything unless I can sell it to Indonesia. You know, I could sell it here in America. I could sell it to Europe if I wanted to, you know, flip them, but I don't want to do that. The only place I would sell it is to, you know, a museum or you know, if Arsip made an offer, or individual collectors, because I want this stuff, if I ever sell it, if I do, I want it to go home. I want it to go somewhere where it's going to be valued more than just, you know, sitting in a company's warehouse, you know, collecting dust.
Yeah, you should open some museum here in Jakarta then.
You know, that's part of the reason why I don't sell anything, and why I don't, just because I don't have a business license. I don't have a tax ID. I don't have anything like that. And I know that the Indonesian government does not. Well, she's a citizen now, so.
Iya, aku udah pindah citizen.
Oh gitu. Tapi kan ada juga masih orang Indonesia yang bisa ngurus itu gitu. Siapa kalau tertarik beneran gitu kan. So now we're talking about the budget. So how do you spend the budget? I mean, it is not a small number for Indonesian for having that some kind of 300 jutaan gitu untuk for photographs gitu. I mean, for Indonesian, if a husband want to spend something for the hobby, they have to have some kind of a permission from the wife.
She knew about it the whole time, and you know, a lot of the funding for this came from me selling saham. You know, I bought a lot of mandiri during the pandemic when it went down, mandiri, and I sold it when it was high. You know, I had some biotech stock, so I decided to turn, you know, saham and companies into, you know, history, something that's more important to the world and to a country than just me holding a stock.
Wow, jadi ini menarik teman-teman ya. Ini karena yang dicari adalah barang-barang dari nenek moyang istri. Jadi kayaknya istri nggak terlalu komplain gitu ya sama. biasanya suami sama hobi tuh kan sama, udah cukup segini aja. Udah nggak ada lagi. Biasanya istri gitu kan, istri. Nah, kali ini kayaknya didukung. So from all of your collection, which one is the most expensive that you spend?
I bought a book from the Meja Bundar, after the Meja Bundar, the transfer of sovereignty. I bought one of the original copies from the Istana Belanda.
You have the original copy?
Punya buku asli yang dari Meja Bundar.
Jadi dulu pemimpin Indonesia, pemimpin berapa negara, itu ngumpul, ini ngomongin negara, dari negara ke negara, di sebuah konferensi yang legend banget. Mereka catat di bukunya dia yang punya, guys.
So at the meeting, they had to they had to send, you know, one copy for Indonesia, one for Belanda, and one for the UN because it was a PBB meeting. They also needed extra documents to send to Suriname, which was still a Dutch colony. So it doesn't have the original Dutch documents, but I have the freedom documents, an original copy plus the protocol book from the Meja Bundar.
Can you show us the book?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Go grab it.
Oh, Mbak, ini bisa dibilang ya.
Penting kayaknya itu barang koleksi yang paling penting buat dia.
Iya kan, pemimpin negara dulu nih ngomongin negara, pemimpin negara semua ngumpul di situ kan, semuanya dicatetin, semua apa yang terjadi dicatetin gitu. Terus mereka kayak kerja sama aja selesai nih laporannya kan. Laporan dia yang megang. Ini menarik banget ya. Kok bisa ya? Mungkin tapi pasti kopi-kopi udah punya kali, tiap negara udah punya kopinya pasti ya itu ya.
Mungkin, tapi ini kayaknya dia terima karena belinya dari toko antik di Eropa ya. And there, what was your theory about how it got sold to you?
I'm guessing that my guess is that a minister or something took home the extra copy, a Dutch minister, and then he died and the family didn't know what to do with it. So when you see that, that's a serious book.
Whoa.
Big as her.
Yeah.
Nothing written on it. You know, original documents. They're huge. It's like animal skin paper.
Oh.
And when you see it, it's like...
It's from 1949, yeah?
Kami Juliana.
Where do you get that? Where do you get that? I mean, in what collection store or thing like that?
From an antiquities dealer in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. But this is where everybody signed everything at the meeting, when you saw them with the papers, doing the signatures and all that. You know, the English documents and the Indonesian documents are still there. And then inside is the actual protocol for the meeting and all of the agreements and everything. If you look online at anything, it has that as far as the 3 languages.
Wow, ini asli banget ini teman-teman. Ini asli banget ini, nggak kaleng-kaleng loh ini. Asli loh. Beneran loh ini.
You know, I mean, it was not cheap. it was definitely not cheap.
How much was that?
But it was a few $1,000s.
What? You said it's not cheap, so a few $1,000.
Can you buy basically the freedom countries of a paper, right? Freedom papers of a country, you know, like and a country that I love, that, you know, has given me a wife and a kid and everything else. Like, I love Indonesia. So I would much rather...
Bucin.
Bucin Indonesia, bukan lu.
Ini Bule tapi kok dari mana? Aduh, ini kayaknya udah orang Betawi kayaknya dia nih. Aduh. Aduh. Ini
Own the freedom papers of a country in the original sense.
wow, interesting. Actually, it could attract many Indonesian ibaratnya ya pakar-pakar sejarah kali ya, pakar sejarah mungkin yang tertarik mungkin akan ngobrol langsung sama beliau. Boleh juga nih, menarik nih. Perjanjian yang dulu sangat penting untuk negara kita itu buktinya ada di tangan Jacob. Mbak Ades, ini sebenarnya dulunya suka sejarah nggak sih?
Aku tuh nggak tertarik sejarah.
Pas ngoleksi, pas Jacob koleksi ini jadi mau nggak mau jadi belajar juga atau tetap nggak belajar juga?
Iya, belajar.
Jadi belajar juga.
Koleksi baru, dia bilang nih, look what I found, and this is what this is. I'm like, oh my god, let me just go on my YouTube, leave me alone.
She tells me to shut up all the time. She just
but it's tapi dia selalu bilang ke aku gitu loh, ini foto apa, gimana dia dapetnya segala macam. So whether I like it or not, I learn stuff as well along the way.
Tapi kelihatan Jacob ini kalau menyukai sesuatu tuh intens banget gitu ya. Jadi gitu. Berarti Mbak Ades juga termasuk beruntung juga nih, benar kata Jacob ya. Karena dia mencintai kayaknya sampai begitunya gitu kan.
around all day being dumb.
That's true. Yeah. Dia emang suka baca, dia suka history segala macem ya. Sedangkan aku nggak terlalu suka history. Well, actually, you got me hooked on history.
Yeah. I made you better.
Yeah.
You fixed me and I made you better.
Ya, ini kayak lagi wawancara Chris Martin Coldplay ya kayaknya sekarang ya. Fix you gitu kan.
Coldplay.
Nah, after you post the photographs on Instagram, is there any unique comments from Indonesia, probably or DMs or things? Any unique probably comments about the photos?
People always tell me like, look out for the netizens. Like they always warn me like netizens are terrifying. They're gonna kill you. I've actually had really good times with people. Everybody talks really cool with everything. I get lots of smart people, like really smart people that know a lot of things and tell me, more about what's going on. If it's a photo of the military, they'll know what division, what, who the leaders were, and they'll tell me that stuff. I've talked to people whose, grandparents that were, if I post someone and they're like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. It's I've run into a lot of people that their ancestors helped build the country, which to me is really cool. It's not something I ever thought that I would do. It's just an unexpected surprise. And all the time there's someone else messaging me ever since the account kind of blew up. You never know what's coming next in your messages. Your DMs are just. It's like its own treasure hunt. Sometimes you open it and it's someone just like, I really like you. And then sometimes you open it and it's someone who's just like, Yamlu, like that's kind of how they like just mad, But and then sometimes it's someone who has something really important to say, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and then Indonesian netizens is quite very
9% of everybody is awesome. It's just every once in a while you get that special message where they're just like,
me.
Yeah, it says probably her in a special account.
Wah, teman-teman silakan follow Instagramnya Jacob, ini menarik teman-teman, coba follow, kemudian siapa tahu nih mungkin ada yang baru tahu ketika nonton ini baru tahu, oh ada kayak begini nih gitu, coba ditelusuri lagi gitu. Jadi apa yang kita pelajari zaman dulu ternyata ada di fotonya benar ada. Jadi konferensi meja bundar itu termasuk tuh bukan konferensi yang hoax aja. Kalau sekarang lagi mau deh, apalin lagi. Ini soalnya udah ketemu kertasnya ya teman-teman semua ya. Nah, kita doain juga siapa tahu mungkin sosok Jacob bisa pamerin di Indonesia gitu, bisa ngeliat langsung gitu ya. Bisa punya museum di sini ya, siapa tahu kan gitu. Nah, terus mungkin kita mau ngeliat nggak di foto-foto yang dipajang kali ya di rumahnya gitu. Jacob, can you show us? I mean, house tour. Probably you post the photo on. Hey.
Let me disconnect everything because I'm on the laptop. It's just photos and photos and photos.
Photos. Oh, this one also photos. The black one also photos.
All of this stuff is just history.
Whoa.
You know, Ahmadiyani's wife at the funeral. Just
it's on PKI's Ahmadiyani and PKI's, yeah, right? And there was the funeral in 1965.
You know, I mean, this is all you know, just history. Nasution.
No, that's the same moment. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, this is all photos. Everything that you see here is just all photos and photos and photos.
Oh, so how do you change it to digital? I mean, how you oppose it? You reshoot the photograph or you scan it?
Terlalu malas. Just scan everything and post it up, you know. Like for me, it's more. I just take a photo and I take another one closer or whatever, and now I tag it and then that's it. So like this whole folder is all Soekarno. This whole thing.
Oh, that's all about Soekarno.
Yeah, this is all Soekarno. Thank you. Yeah, this is all Soekarno in here. So if you see, you know, all this stuff, it's all categorized by where it was taken. You know, Soekarno and his family. So like with Khrushchev and his kids.
Oh, Khrushchev.
Yeah, Khrushchev, Soekarno behind. You've got Guru and them.
About that kids. That was the kids from Soekarno?
Yeah, so that's Sukarno's kids holding Khrushchev hands running down the stairs, and you see Soekarno behind.
Oh, I mean, there are some all of the Soekarno's kids now in politics now. Probably that was the kids' time, yeah.
Politics is Guru, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like here's Gunther in 1956 in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
So much photos, you know, so much history. It's all unbelievable that I was able to get all this.
So it's almost 1,000 probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you know, the fact that all this was available and I was able to grab it all. It's an original portrait of the smiling general.
Oh.
You know, I mean, it's all here.
Yeah. You should do some kind of a showing session.
Gallery exhibition. Here you go, 1998.
1998.
Taking the presidential portraits out.
Oh, it is the what do you call it? Reformasi era. Yeah. It was changing the photos of presidents. Oh, I see.
Political moments to the military in different places to you know to politicians falling asleep. You know, I've got a combination of all of it.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So, okay, we could go back to your sofa again. Thank you very much for showing all these stuff that probably many Indonesians would probably ask more after they see this conversation. Probably they want to know more about the history and things like that. Now, how do you know Indonesia outside the history? Do you know Indonesian song?
Dia Baladewa.
Baladewa. Oke guys, kita denger lagunya. Oke, kita denger lagunya nih.
What do you want me to sing?
Your favorite one.
Your most favorite Dewa song.
Yeah.
I don't know what my favorite Dewa song is.
Tangan.
I'll do the one I always do, just because it's easy. Usap air matamu yang menetes di pipimu. Ku pastikan semuanya akan baik-baik saja.
Wow.
Okay, any other band?
Padi, I really like. Krisha is fun. You know, it's goofy, but it's fun. I like Sheila on 7, you know, Gigi.
Sheila on 7. Okay, Sheila on 7.
But your favorite is Siti Badriah.
Yeah.
Siti Badriah. Oke, Siti Badriah, guys. Siapin goyangannya.
But some of that stuff that they do is so catchy that I can't turn it off. You know?
Mbak Nisa, mungkin bagi orang bule itu kalau lagu-lagu dari kayak lagu Latin kali ya.
Lagu reggaeton gitu kan kayak iya.
It's so funky. So funky.
Okay then, show me that you are a lover of Siti Badriah.
You just sang it.
I'm trying to remember how it goes. Sayangku, hari ini aku cantik badai bidadari di hatimu. Sayangku, diriku seperti seorang ratu. Ku ingin dimanja. Kamu emang lagi manja, lagi pengen dimanja, pengen berduaan dengan dia.
Oh, tepuk tangan dong. You know that some of our crews also shaking their head, emang lagi manja.
Stuck in your head, you're not a person.
Oh, that's great. Ini teman-teman, ini sebenarnya benar. Ini orang Indonesia menyamar jadi bule. Ini asli. Bahkan ini lebih Indonesia dibanding Mbak Anessa nih kayaknya kalau kita lihat deh kayaknya ya.
Ya emang. Tapi kita emang mau rencananya mau pensiun di Bali ya, insya Allah.
Semoga, I mean, either Bali, East Java, somewhere nice,
Kayaknya kalau lihat dari, apalagi mungkin kalau dari kursnya lumayan jauh, nabung di sana, hidupmu di sini itu kayaknya enak banget tuh. Bener. Nah, sekarang kalau soal musik udah, makanan. What about food? What is your most favorite Indonesian food?
But rendang, when you put it with nasi padang, it's like the most sexy flavor in your mouth you could ever imagine, but like sop buntut is amazing. Sate padang, sate kambing, the best food I ever had in my life. The best food I've ever had, and I did years in like Michelin star restaurants. That was like my thing, was restaurant consulting and putting together bar programs. The best food I've ever had, better than any Michelin star restaurant, was outside Jogja. We asked the sopir, take us someplace good. Take us someplace amazing. And he took us down a dirty road that was like dust everywhere. It was like a soto ayam that the pot was like 70 years old. And we just sat down next to the Benson bottles being sold, and I tasted it, and it was like heaven.
Wow, di mana itu Mbak?
Di Jogja.
Yeah. Nah, namanya apa gitu? Namanya apa? Siapa tahu kita kenal juga.
Si namanya yang kayak tenda makanan itu loh. Yang di jalan-jalan. Soto ayam biasa, soto ayam pakai bihun.
Begitu. Kalau ada namanya kan lumayan tuh bisa mendongkrak perpariwisataan yang jualan itu.
Lagi bener-bener yang ini loh, yang kayak beneran di pinggir jalan.
It was just one lady in a big pot that's probably been cooking for 70 years.
Wah, ini komplit banget ya. Jacob sendiri, are you working in a restaurant industry as well?
I helped them open places, put together programs. I did really fine dining bartending. Basically, I wouldn't do any work. I would just talk to politicians all day because I was like the entertainment. Yes, I mean that's where I saw Obama and met McCain and all them. But yeah, that was what I did for a long time. And because of that, I have a lot of experience with food. So when I say Indonesian food is good, I mean it.
Whoa, probably you could try sometimes to add the mixed Indonesian menu in a restaurant, probably.
No, I've never worked in a kitchen. I've never done anything. But I've told people to try, if they were to do fusion stuff, like they could make amazing things because there's so many flavors that Americans especially aren't familiar with. When you make an American taste rendang, it's, even though it's a little bit spicy, there's so much flavor, it's so complex that they've never had anything like it. Because, American food is kind of boring, it's very
bland.
Like Indonesian food is like fireworks. No matter what flavor it is or food it is, it's going to be beautiful. This one's yellow. Oh yeah, it's still good. This one's red. Oh, it's even better.
That's great. Tuh teman-teman, orang bule aja ngerasa bahwa makan Indonesia itu menarik ya. Semuanya serba banyak kejutan di mulutnya. Nah kita kalau lagi cari makanan Western, dia cari makanan Indonesia. Kita cari makanan Western. Waduh, kebalik ini sepertinya ya. Waduh. Wah, sebelum kita tutup nih Mbak Anes nih, ini banyak hal yang menarik ya ternyata dari kita obrolan ini banyak yang unik gitu ya. ini gimana akhirnya? Seolah-olah kan sebenarnya Mbak Anes terjebak ke sana gitu, tapi ternyata nggak berada di negara orang karena nuansanya suami juga suka Indonesia, malah jadi belajar sejarah Indonesia gitu. Jadi kayak nggak terlalu berjarak sama Indonesia gitu. Kesannya gimana? Nah, kalau Mbak Anes gimana tuh?
Aku di sini udah 19 tahun, Mas. Jadi udah lama di sini daripada lama di Indonesia sebenarnya. Jadi aku juga waktu di sana pindah ke sini umur 17 tahun. So, I became an adult here. So, I think in a way I was learning with him along the way, like rediscovering my motherland and everything. So, it's been a great experience. And I'm looking forward to more.
Oh, so sweet. Oh, ya dia baru ketahuan bucin juga sama suaminya ya. Okay, Jacob, becoming the collector of Indonesian history, photographs, or probably books, or probably many historical that Indonesians should have. Do you have any plan to have? To switch to other countries? Probably some country outside, in some countries in Africa, some countries in probably in Europe and other Indonesia.
Not at all. Not at all. This is probably the beginning and the end of my collecting. I've got some stuff from America because I'm from here, but as far as like major collections, after being there and after experiencing it and learning some about it, I fell in love with Indonesia, and that's the beginning and the end for me for collecting. I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna whatever. If I ever unload this, then I'll just be done with national collecting and just find something else to do.
Oh, ya, benar, pasangannya memang mereka ditemukan ya.
It's my passion. Indonesia is my passion. It's when I talk to people about Indonesia here, it's hard to explain to them what exactly, because Indonesia has taught me so much. Like everybody's like, oh, you're doing all this, you're getting all this stuff. Thank you for preserving our history. And I just want to say, like, you guys made me a better person. Indonesia made me a better person. When I went there and I saw people not complaining about everything, when I saw people, respecting their family, respecting their elders, when I saw, that you can pull up on the side of the street and even if it's a preman, you can ask for directions and nobody gets angry. Like Indonesia taught me more about what I want my life to be like. So I really appreciate everything that Indonesia is.
Well, thank you very much for the appreciation, mashallah. That's very cool. Jacob, actually, Indonesian netizen are probably the you understand netizen, yeah? Well, sometimes Indonesian netizens have some kind of very sharp comment and things like that. I believe that probably only happen in social media. Well, when you get directly, talking to persons, and then sometimes our prejudgment to someone just because we just look at the social media or things like that. But when you know somebody on person directly, it's very different. Many Indonesians, they are helpful, they are so nice, so sweet. Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes I look the social media, oh, it is really Indonesian like this?
Yeah.
I don't just stay at the resort or at the house or at the hotel. I walk around, when we go to her parents' house where we stay, I don't stay in the house. I'm walking by the goat wherever I can go and meeting whoever I can meet. I love going to like the warung and meeting the local people. Because I don't go there to stay in the house or to go to a hotel. Yeah.
Dia tuh kalau ke warung dia bilang, ini semua bapak-bapak aku beliin rokoknya sama kopinya.
Yang benar. Jacob, you should go to Indonesia. You can what you call it? You can do some kind of, mungkin orang Indonesia tuh bilangnya Jacob bisa jadi kayak Baim Wong gitu kan. Semua dibeliin. Ayo Bapak, ya di sini. Iya, Bapak mau rokok di saya beliin Bapak, gitu kan. Waduh.
Dia emang sukanya kayak gitu. Orang dia aja sekarang masih berhubung sama ada tukang jualan di depan rumah ayah ibuku, ada jualan kayak mainan aru manis gitu kan. Dia masih hubungan sama dia, masih
WhatsAppan gitu.
Dia lagi susah kita bantu gitu kan. Like dia sukanya yang kayak gitu, which is it's very honorable.
Sebutin namanya Mbak. Siapa tahu dia nonton.
Mas Iwan.
Iwan, Agung, all the guys I meet locally, like I stay in contact with a lot of them.
Waduh, Pak Iwan, ini karena kebaikan juga Pak Iwan, ya memberi kesan baik, namanya diingat, gitu.
Iya, kita belum dengar dari Mas Iwan udah lumayan lama. I hope he's fine.
I don't know, but I mean, it's for me. What makes Indonesia special is, it's cool to go to the resorts, it's cool to go to Bali, it's cool to go to whatever, and that's nice. But like you said, the internet is different. When you meet the people face to face, the smile of Indonesian people is genuine. When they want to laugh about something, it's not fake. Like maybe Indonesians might gossip or might whatever, but when Indonesians get together, they're happy and they laugh at 3:00 in the morning when they're watching sepak bola by the little Securitas stations or whatever on one TV. Those are the happiest people I've ever seen in my life, and they're genuinely happy.
Ya. Satpam, ronda, nonton bola, singkong goreng, kopi tubruk. That's cool. Okay, last Jacob and Mbak Anissa, can you say some things to Indonesians who watch this podcast in bahasa?
In bahasa. What about?
You as well. What do you want to say to Indonesia?
I don't know. Well, terima kasih Mas Untung untuk kesempatannya. Kita, belajar more about us, and hopefully semoga kita bisa somehow persembahkan koleksi-koleksi kita ini untuk orang Indonesia di masa depan. Dan, never stop learning. Jangan pernah berhenti belajar. Just like me, I'm relearning everything and just keep pursuing what you love. And, that's what we are doing. That's what he's doing. And this is how we got here.
Nah, sekarang Jacob pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Oke. Saya mau belajar bicara tanah air kalian luar biasa. Terima kasih untuk bantu saya belajar cara saya mau hidup. Terima kasih untuk dukung saya di online and dengan keluarga and how would you say?
What were you gonna say?
I just want to say thank you for always kind of being behind me for the last 20 years. I don't know how to say that in Indonesian.
Terima kasih untuk selalu mendukung saya selama 20 tahun ini. Terima kasih untuk dukungannya selama 20 tahun yang selama ini.
Mungkin saya belum pernah tinggal di sana. Hanya berkunjung ke sana berliburan. Tapi Indonesia selalu dengan saya. Dengan bagian hidupan saya. And thank you for everything. Terima kasih for everything that made her what she is, that made me interested, yang membuat saya tertarik dengan kalian semua.
Wah, keren. Teman-teman, dengan bahasa Indonesia yang kemampuannya beliau, tapi terasa gitu sampai ke yang dimaksud gitu ya. Ini nunjukin bahwa kalau diutarakan dari hati akan sampai juga ke hati. Nih luar biasa keluarga ini ya, banyak menginspirasi juga walaupun jauh, tapi justru kita banyak belajar sejarah dan juga hal unik dari keluarga ini. Jadi bentuknya kita itu ada playlist diaspora ini, rupanya bener mengkonekkan kembali Indonesia. Waduh. Terima kasih Mbak Anissa, thank you very much Jacob. This conversation is very interesting and there is so many unique things that I found in you guys. Mudah-mudahan kalian nih tetap langgeng terus ya. Gitu. Lancar semuanya. Dan jangan lupa mungkin ada yang mau follow Instagram atau YouTube dari Jacob. Silakan Jacob.
Koleksi Sejarah Indo adalah IG. Dan YouTube Jacob Cast.
Makasih banget semua waktunya. Mudah-mudahan kita bisa komunikasi terus. Siapa tahu kita lagi main ke sana gitu, ngobrol sambil ngopi di dua, apa gimana, banyak hal yang bisa kita obrolin. Teman-teman, banyak sekali inspirasi yang bisa kita dapatkan dari pasangan ini. Dari sini kita bisa melihat ya, mereka ini bisa bersatu walaupun mungkin banyak perbedaan, sedikit persamaan, tapi mereka bisa jalan bersama. Nah, kita yang banyak persamaan, perbedaannya sedikit, kenapa kita cari perbedaannya? Ini banyak sekali inspirasi yang bisa kita dapatkan. Mudah-mudahan kita bisa saling terus sayang dan mudah-mudahan semuanya bisa saling membangun Indonesia di masa depannya. Lihat orang bule aja tertarik sama Indonesia, masa kita sendiri enggak? Ayo kalau gitu jangan lupa untuk subscribe YouTube dan juga Instagram mereka. Jangan lupa juga subscribe channel kita ya. Sampai ketemu lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.